Welcome to Springdale Today. We've got a wonderful show in store for you. You're going to meet a teacher in the Springdale district who went through some adversity when he was a student here, and now he's sharing his experiences and serving as a mentor to many in the Springdale district. You're also going to take a ride on Springdale's version of the Polar Express, and you're going to hear a great interview with Dr. Marsha Jones talking about Springdale's application for Race to the Top. All that's coming up, because if it's now, it's Springdale Today. We've got a great feature coming up for you, but before we do, last week we had a feature on Romeo Gill Jr. We said he was at Biari. You know what? He was doing great work at Parson Hills. So Romeo, sorry about that. Wonderful to have him in the district, and he was very good about that error. Next up is a story about a young man that is at Southwest, and he also works at a couple other schools as well in the band department. He was a student in Springdale, and now he's teaching students in Springdale. You're going to enjoy this feature on Omar Alonzo.
The band program has changed my life because it made me into who I am now. I'm a teacher and I'm a music director now.
Mr. Alonzo is my new band director, one of the assistant band directors, and he actually gives me lessons.
He's doing great, actually. He's not a stranger anymore. He's a great band director.
Because of him, I think I have improved a whole lot more than I would have just by myself.
But he didn't know how to speak English at all when he first came here, and then learned English. And not only learned English, but he learned to speak it without an accent.
I didn't speak English, right? I spoke Spanish, and that was my first language. In fact, that's what I still speak at home. Anytime I see my parents or my family, we speak Spanish. You know, I'd go to the school, and it's like everybody speaking English, and I spoke Spanish, and I didn't know what they were saying, so I couldn't communicate other than with numbers.
I've watched him in the classroom. I've heard him give a few directions in Spanish as well.
He is able to speak two languages, so it's very easy. If I can't understand him in English, it's really helpful for him to be able to speak both languages.
A lot of teachers like to relate to students, or students like to relate to teachers, but not many Hispanics can relate to their teachers, and I'm one of the ones that can.
These band directors get to build a relationship that lasts 6th grade through 12th grade. They go to the middle school, they come to the high school, the junior high, and then they go to the high school.
He gets the vibe of junior high band, which is completely different from what we do here at Har-ber. You know, and it's really cool that he gets to go back and forth because he gets to see different environments.
And I enjoy going out to listen to him direct and watch him perform, you know, get performance from the students.
He's really laid back, and so you don't feel pressured to always do stuff. And I feel like since there's not so much pressure on us, that makes us want to do better.
Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed working with Mr. Alonzo, especially knowing that he's a former Southwest student. Was a student here just 7 or 8 years ago.
He is closer in age to us than most of the other band directors, so it's kind of nice to have somebody who's closer in age.
He does have your back in many things, so he's just really an awesome person to be around.
When I had that bond with the students, I was like, wow, that was awesome. You know, I had these feelings that I really want to help people, you know, pursue music. I really want to help them enjoy music and see how music can change their lives.
He gives them such a great role model to follow, knowing that he finished school here, finished strong, and then went to college, and now he's back here working.
He took what he wanted to do, like playing clarinet, and he made a profession out of it, and he helps kids every day do what they want to do.
I just was so excited we had the opportunity to hire him.
If you work hard, if you set your goals, and if you put your mind to it, you can do something about your life. You can change the way that your life is going, just like I did.
What a great story on Omar Alonzo. Now, if you're in your home, put on your pajamas and grab your cocoa. Get ready for a trip on the Polar Express.
Maybe you should get this excited about your education.
Get excited about your education. Make twice as much money with a college degree. It's your future. Go to arworks.arkansas.gov and get to work, Arkansas.
Have you ever wanted to be an elf on the Polar Express? Andrew Onstead did, and he's going to show you what it's like.
Hi, my name's Andrew Onstead, and today we're going on a train ride. As you can see, I've disguised myself as an elf. Let's see if I can get throughout the day without being suspected of being a human. So what am I going to be doing today on the train?
So today on the train, we're going to be taking a train ride with all the kids, Holiday Express train, and you guys will probably get to blow the whistle if you're lucky.
Hi, I'm Andrew Onstead. We're here in the locomotive, I guess you could say the engine room, and I get to pull on this cord which leads to the main horn. So, here we go. Got it tuned out. So Kevin, how long have you been working on the railroad?
19 and a half years, been a locomotive operator.
Very cool. And so what do you do as a locomotive operator?
We do excursion trains, as which we done today, or we also move freight around on a switcher or a long haul where we take it to other railroads.
And so what were you guys doing here today?
This is what was an excursion route where we take, it's supposedly a pajama train where we take passengers up and down the tracks just for a little run to let them see what it was like in the olden days when they used to do this as a major form of transportation.
All right, I'm with Dave Morris today. And Dave, what can you tell us about the railroads?
Well, it's fun. If you haven't experienced a railroad ride, you should come down and try it. It's great. Good family atmosphere. Kids love it. Lots to see on the railroad.
All right, well, I'm with Santa Claus today. So Santa Claus, what did you do on the train today?
I went and saw all the children on the train for Christmas.
Very cool, very cool. And so what can you tell us more about what you did on the train today?
I went around and talked to all the children about Christmas and the receiving of Christ and giving out presents for the children for Christmas.
That's great. And for SPS TV, my name is Andrew Onstead.
That was rather elfish, wasn't it? Hope you enjoyed that feature. Coming up next, a nice interview with Dr. Marsha Jones on Race to the Top.
To the kid who.
To the kid who.
To the kid whose parents are divorced.
To the kid who gets bullied.
To the kid who pops pills.
To the kid who.
To the kid.
To the kid who is alone.
I want
you to know.
Suicide is the third leading cause of death for young people ages 15 to 24.
And I don't.
You don't.
We don't have to contribute to that.
You are not alone. You're never alone.
Suicide takes the lives of
mothers,
sisters,
sons,
friends.
And they won't make it to
22,
17,
their wedding,
15.
To the kid who's watching this video.
I've been there.
I've been where you are.
And I promise.
I promise.
I swear to you, it gets better.
Suicide affects more than just the victim.
It affects your school.
His community.
Your family.
To the kid who's watching this video.
Don't lose hope.
If you or someone you know is contemplating suicide, remember.
It's okay to ask for help.
The Springdale School District is one of only 61 districts that still has a chance for the Race to the Top grant. It's a fabulous program, and Springdale's the only district in Arkansas that still has a shot at it. Let's hear what Dr. Marsha Jones has to say about Race to the Top. Welcome to our administrative staff section of the program, and today we've got Dr. Marsha Jones, who's about the most knowledgeable person in the history of the district, I think, other than maybe Dr. Jim Rollins. But you've been working on a grant that's very important to this district, Race to the Top. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, this came through the email as an invitation to districts all over the United States. And we said, let's just see what this is going to mean to the district. And when we thought we could gain significant dollars through the grant, we said, well, let's try it. And so we spent probably about 6 weeks working on getting all the pieces. If the federal government is going to provide money, they want you to jump through a lot of hoops to get the money.
Well, it's a pretty significant sum.
Yes, about $30 million, so you're right. So we deserve to jump through a few hoops.
That's right. And Marsha, one thing up front, even with all the fiscal things going on in Washington now, this is money that's already been set aside, so it's going to be available.
Absolutely. I called one of our congressmen before I even started and said, do you think this is a good idea for the district? And even though he's very fiscally conservative, his guidance was, yes, this is going to go to someone. I just assume that Springdale try for it as any other town in another state try. So he encouraged us to try. So yes, this money has already been allocated and will go out to some district in the United States.
Now, as I understand it, there were over 300 districts that applied for this, only 5 in Arkansas. Now it's down to 61, and Springdale's the only district in Arkansas that's still hanging in there.
Well, we're really, really flattered with this making it to the finalist stage. Now, of course, we have not won anything, and being a finalist does not guarantee any wins. But what it did do, whether or not we get the money, it made us think that our ideas had merit, that a national panel said, yes, I think in the world of education, the things you want to do, the innovations you want to carry out, or the programs that you want to expand. And I do want to say, Rick, that a lot of what's in the grant are things we're already doing, but we want to try to bring them to scale. And by that I mean we want to get them everywhere. We only have 4 East programs. We'd like every school to have those special technology programs. Well, these dollars will let us expand these kinds of fabulous technology programs faster than if we just had our own local resources to work with.
Beyond East, some of the other things that you want to help?
Certainly technology overall is about 50% of the grant. One of the things that is difficult for school districts is to stay ahead of the technology curve. So getting more technology into the hands of students is a huge piece of it, getting the infrastructure of technology up to speed. I worked with Eric Hatch, our technology specialist, to help know what kinds of things the district needed. So that's big. Other things are bringing a more college career ready approach, especially at the high school level where we could expand some of our academies. Some of the elementary school level things and the middle schools, getting all kids well grounded in their reading and their math. So providing programs, support in reading and math, more parental involvement through the family literacy program is there. So it's overall from preschool through high school, the dollars will have an impact, and its major focus is how do we get more kids that are perhaps not as well prepared as they should be to be college and career ready. And another big piece that the federal government asked us to look at is, well, how do you personalize that? Every student that comes in has their own special personal needs in terms of education. They said to us in our application, what are you going to do to personalize it? So when we can have programs like college career coaches that will be assigned to individual students, that helps us personalizing it. Having individual student computer systems that they can check out and take home, that's helping personalize their access.
That's amazing, because you think of a district with 21,000 kids and you think, how do you personalize that for each kid? And no matter how big your budget is, you can always use a little help.
Absolutely. And this money was targeted to schools that were willing to think innovatively. And one of the innovations is looking at how high school credits are awarded. Right now, if a student comes in and they already have all the skills they need in Algebra 1, we don't have an option. They still have to sit in Algebra 1. Well, that's because of the Carnegie unit system. Our State Department said they would sponsor a pilot with us to present to the state board if we could generate a program that in a safe way could help students gain credit without perhaps having the same definition of Carnegie unit. There are states in the United States, Rhode Island as an example, who have already said we think we need to think about how that Carnegie unit drives how high school students gain their credits. So we would look to places like Rhode Island to help us get programs in place. We don't have permission to do that yet, but we do have support from our State Department to say if you brought forward a plan, they would help us get it ready to take to the state board.
Wow. And when you talk about the State Department, they've even told you how excited they are that Springdale has a shot at this grant.
I think the commissioner called our superintendent, Dr. Rollins, and said that he was proud of that, and that makes me feel good. I'm glad to hear that.
When are you going to find out?
We won't know until the very latest is December the 31st. So we don't know. We're just waiting to see.
And when that does happen, are these things that can be implemented immediately, or are we talking about fall of 2013?
The way we structured the grant, there would be some things that would begin to happen in the spring of this year. We don't really know all of those implementation schedules, and we would find out more about that. But with our planning, we went ahead and began doing some of the preparatory work for implementing things this spring.
Now it's in somebody else's hands. There's not much you can do right now, is there?
No, however, I think to be prepared, some of the people that we're going to work with, if the grant were awarded, people that would bring expertise to our district, we're going to contact them and say, here's where we are in the process. Let's be prepared that if we can work together, we won't spend a lot of time thinking about that again. We'll already do some of that preliminary work.
One thing you mentioned was getting kids college and career ready, and that's a major part of Common Core, so I'm assuming what the grant does is supplements your Common Core efforts.
Absolutely. With the theme that the federal government placed on the grant, which was through personalization, get all students college and career ready, then obviously the shift towards a Common Core, which is a college career ready curriculum, is a part of the work that we'll be implementing regardless of the grant. But again, how much faster we can do it if we have a few more resources to help us, more experts to come in and help our faculty learn more about what Common Core means.
Well, it's a fascinating process. We hope we get good news by the end of December, don't we?
Well, I thank you for that encouragement. Right now, I'm conservative in my enthusiasm. I think they're only going to award somewhere between 25 and 30 grants. So you might say we have a 50-50 chance at this time.
What a great honor for the Springdale School District to be the only one in Arkansas to still have a chance for this race to the top grant. We're all going to be waiting with eager anticipation to see if Springdale gets the grant. We'll know by the end of December. Coming up next, you're going to get a chance to look at all the holiday programming that you can see on the Springdale Public School TV network.
When I grow up, I want to be a doctor.
When I grow up, I want to be a music teacher.
When I grow up, I want to be a counselor.
When I grow up, I want to be a future NBA player.
The Springdale Schools, dedicated to our students, dedicated to our community, and dedicated to excellence. The Springdale Schools, building future leaders.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Let's see what's in store on Springdale District News. How about it, Sabrina?
Thanks. Be sure to watch Springdale District News this Wednesday at 8 p.m. as we cover an innovative district program called Breakfast in the Classroom, an informative story on the ACT, and a creative new way for some students at Lee Elementary to stay in shape, hula dancing.
Thanks, Sabrina. Well, it is the Christmas season, the new year, everybody's festive, and they're festive all over the Springdale School District. You're going to be able to watch a lot of concerts during this holiday season. Take a look at what's in store for you. Well, thanks for watching this week. Next week, you're going to get a chance to see some special collections put together by the students that are working in the Springdale District TV department this year. You're going to absolutely love it. Now, that's it for the Springdale District Show this year. We'll be back with you in January. So until then, we hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thanks for watching.